we got to cover Bitcoin here because as you guys can see, Bitcoin is now dropping. It's now down to 89.7K. I mentioned the drop that was happening. I mentioned how it was about to be a bull trap and how it was looking bearish. That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about what I think is about to come next. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Go ahead and become a member of the channel. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So, yeah, as you can see, we are down 2.4% in the last 24 hours. Still up in the last 2 weeks and in the last week. So that's decent. But yeah, we're at 89.7K. Fear greed index at 43 at neutral. But I think people are about to start becoming a lot more fearful. Now we are about to break down below this pattern here. And what we call this is a descending triangle. Descending triangles are bearish patterns. So keep that in mind. And we're about to break down below that. And as you can see right here, this is going to be the area where we break down. Now, this is only the 5-minute chart, so this is a very short-term time frame. But I wanted to show you guys that because it's inside of a greater pattern that is actually also a bearish pattern. And that greater pattern that we are in is called nothing other than a rising wedge. Rising wedges are also bearish patterns. So now we have two bearish patterns within each other. And now we're seeing the result of that. So if we continue to break down here on Bitcoin, then we are going to end up breaking below this rising wedge. I mentioned in my yesterday's video or the video before that, definitely check it out. It's a really good video. We could be setting up a double bottom. We'll see if when we drop, and hit 80K and don't break below 80K, that's the double bottom, and we just got bear trapped after the bull trap, right? So that is something that you also want to pay attention to. Even if we see this thing continuing to drop and then start to rise, I still don't think we're bullish even if we start to rise, because when you pull up our weekly chart, and I mentioned this the whole time on my previous Bitcoin video, that I see none other than a bearish pattern forming, as you can see here, which is none other than the head and shoulders, with this being the shoulder, this being the head, and then the other shoulder, and then boom. So I think if we even if we go down to 80K, right, and then we come back, that's going to be the double bottom scenario. As you can see here, double bottoms are bullish patterns. So that would be the double bottom scenario if we hit 80K and then recover and then go up from there. And then after that, what I think would happen is we would stop here at this previous resistance. That's going to be around 108K, 106K. And it might stop before then. It doesn't have to be perfectly horizontal right across. It could actually start to slant like this with the head and shoulders. So do remember that. It doesn't have to necessarily get all the way up to 108K. And we actually would call this the bearish head and shoulders pattern. As you can see here, that's a bearish pattern. So I think overall Bitcoin is going to be bearish for 2026, and I think we're about to get bull trapped. Right now we're being bear trapped, but I think in total we're going to end up getting bull trapped. So I'm going to come back here and show you guys the 4-hour chart, and what I mean by here, let's go ahead and actually do the daily chart. And on the daily chart, you can see this would be the double bottom scenario. So let me go ahead and draw this out for you guys. Boom, 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 boom. And then it would go up to like 108K, 106K, something like that, possibly. Maybe it wouldn't go all the way up. Maybe it'll stop at 100K. Maybe it'll stop at 95. Who knows? But essentially, that's what we're looking at here on Bitcoin. And that's what I think is going to happen. And again, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Anything can happen under the sun, but we'll see which one happens. Now we're gonna break down a few other things since we got the macro stuff out. Now we're gonna look at the 4-hour chart. The percent arc trend exhaustion is trending downwards. We actually had something similar like this happen on MicroStrategy yesterday, which is like a Bitcoin. It's like a Bitcoin, not an ETF, but it's a Bitcoin treasury company, and yeah, only reason why I'm mentioning this is because something similar to that happened yesterday, right? And then it stopped halfway like this. So what I mean here is what if the short-term trend, which is the white line, comes all the way down, and the long-term trend, which is the blue line, stops halfway? If that happens, then you see something like this with the price, where it kind of levels out and then it'll continue downwards, just like it's about to do today. I actually shorted micro strat. Actually, no. Which one did I short yesterday? I don't think it was. It might have been MicroStrategy. I made it. Actually, yeah, it was MicroStrategy. So this right here, very good trade. Very good trade. This whole thing on a options contract that was about to expire was like 168% yesterday. Now, of course, I didn't benefit off the whole thing because like I like to get in and out. Like I like to get in and out. So I didn't get the whole thing. I only got like 16% because I got in and out too quick. But I just say that to show you guys the percent R trend exhaustion and how the short-term trend came all the way down, and then the long-term trend stopped halfway, which is why I kind of got out. So just kind of showing you guys what's happening there on MicroStrategy, which is a Bitcoin treasury company. And the reason why this actually matters for Bitcoin is because if you come over here to the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin, you can kind of see something similar could possibly happen, right? But the long-term trend has came down to such a significant amount. We might continue downwards, and then it might stop like 75% of the way down, and then this goes up and meets this here, and then at that point we'll see if it continues downwards, right, or if it continues upwards from there. And the reason why that matters is because, like I mentioned before, we could be forming a double bottom scenario here. So we gotta see if that is true, because if that's true, then like I mentioned before, this could stop halfway and then go back up if it's the double bottom scenario. So that's what I'm looking at there for the percent R trend exhaustion. Now, all this selling pressure on the MACD kind of shows me that we're probably in for a rude awakening. That's a lot of selling pressure, a lot, and that's on the 4-hour chart here. So now let's go to the daily chart. Pull up the daily chart. And this is also very telling. This is the percent R trend exhaustion on the daily chart. Every single time we see the short-term trend break far past the long-term trend here, we see that pullback. And it's a nasty pullback because the short-term trend has to come back to the long-term trend because the long-term trend did not break out. The last time we had that pullback here, you can see it maxed out all the way up here, and we'll take this percentage tracker and we'll bring it all the way down to the bottom right down here. And that brings us down to 10% right there. So we had a 10% drop, 10.54% drop there. Hypothetically speaking, if we did it again, we also just now got to the same point. If we did another like 10% drop, I don't know if it'll be exactly 10% or more, then this could be the double bottom scenario that I was talking about. So it could either be a double bottom at 10% or it could go all the way down. If it breaks this rising wedge, then more than likely it's going down to 80K, which will be about a 15% drop. And if it goes down to 80K, the problem with that is if 80K is broken, we're going to see a continuation downwards, and then it's not the double bottom scenario we were thinking, but it could still be forming the head and shoulders pattern. And the reason why it could still be forming that head and shoulders pattern, if we scroll out a little bit here, you can see this head and shoulders pattern. This is the daily chart. And again, this is the shoulder, this is the head. And let's say it comes all the way down to 74K. Remember what happened last time. Last time, it did come down to 74K. So it might not be the double bottom scenario, but we might also be still forming the head and shoulders, because last time it came down to 75K. We might see the same thing happen again, where this pulls that back to 75K. And then we create the next shoulder, and then we create that next shoulder upwards, right? And then we come up here, stop around 108K or before that, and then continue the continuation downwards. So either way, 2026 is about to be bearish. And yeah, some people might not be seeing this, but there's a lot of other indications that it's going to be bearish. And I'm about to actually show that here, because I know I always show the percent R trend exhaustion and the MACD, but I'm going to show some other things. But yeah, the short-term trend is about to come crashing down, and we're going to see the price crashing down with it. So expect 80K Bitcoin soon. And if 80K Bitcoin is broken, expect 75K Bitcoin. right? Or 74K, even 74K. So 75 to 74K if this rising wedge is broken and we see the short-term trend on the percent R trend exhaustion coming down. So expect 80K to 75K, right? And then if we pull up the MACD over here, we can kind of see that buying pressure is kind of coming back in a little bit, but now we're experiencing that selling pressure again. And you can argue that we just had bearish divergence or bullish divergence. The lows started becoming higher on the MACD, and this is what that would look like here. So it's a possibility that we just experienced bullish divergence. So there is still the possibility that we don't do all of this and go all the way down. And there is that possibility that, again, we have the double bottom, and there's a possibility that we don't even break the rising wedge and we go up to 100K and then get rejected. Either way, I believe we're getting rejected before 108K. 108K, I don't think we're going to break that. If we break 108K, then we're completely bullish. We're completely bullish. Everything's invalidated if we break 100K upwards. If not, the bear market is in. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. All right. And then, like I said before, there's other metrics that you want to look at. So we're going to go ahead and take off the MACD. And then we're going to come over here and pull up the 200-day SMA, which is the 200-day simple moving average. And then we're going to go over here and take the this line. We're going to turn it white so I can see it better. We're going to turn the opacity up. And then we're going to turn the thickness up because we need them thick lines. Hey, now we got the thick lines here. And now let's go ahead and click OK on this. So look, this right here is the 200-day SMA. Typically, when we break below the 200-day SMA at such a significant rate, it is the start of the bear market, typically. Now let's go ahead and bring up the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart, and you can see the SMA. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because if we break out here, what do we stop at? Right here, right at that line where the 200-day SMA is, right at the left shoulder of our head and shoulders pattern. So again, head and shoulders pattern, bearish signal, breaking down below the 200-day SMA, bearish signal, rising wedge, bearish signal, which is here, descending triangle on the 5-minute chart, bearish signal, and then this, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back to the bullish divergence thing, but I think that is more of the double bottom scenario. If we have a double bottom, obviously it's going to increase the price and it's going to come up here to the 108K and then get rejected probably. So that's what we're looking at for that. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And just to show you guys, look, if we break this 200-day SMA at a significant level like this is the start of a bear market. Last time we broke it was back here. We broke structure, but we did not break it significantly. We immediately recovered. The next week, we immediately, well, let's say the next month, it immediately recovered, right? But this one's much, much, much different. It broke it by a much higher level and a much higher percentage. And then we come back here, back to the 2024, mid 2024. We broke it very briefly, but the 200-day SMA continued upwards. So it continued bullish. And the percent R trend exhaustion kind of stayed bullish on both scenarios. But look, this is the end of the cycle. And now you're seeing the long-term trend trending downwards and the short-term trend trending downwards. So this is very, very bearish. It's very bearish. What happened last time? So we come back to 2021. And look, when you break the 200-day SMA very briefly, it'll recover. Because the 200-day SMA is still increasing, it'll recover. But when that happens, it only recovers for a short period of time. Think about what we had before. Head, shoulders, head, shoulders. So you see boom, shoulder, boom, head, and this shoulder was a little bit smaller, but head and shoulders at the end of the day. And then you come over here, head and shoulders pattern. So we are in for some pain for 2026. I wouldn't be focused on trying to hold a bag the whole time. I think by the end of 2026, it might be done like, I don't know, like August, October, September, something. We'll see how long that lasts, but I'm just kind of referencing how long it lasted till the previous time. So at the end and the beginning of 2023, That's when everything started to recover. And that's when we finally crossed that 200-day SMA, which confirmed the bull market. So the bull market was confirmed January 1st of 2023. And not really January 1st. It was confirmed here about January 9th. So about January 9th, that week of 2023, when it finally passed the 200-day SMA, that was the confirmation of our bull market starting again. And then if you come over here, you can see how it was rejected right there. So we'll probably get rejected right at that 200-day SMA whenever this happens. And it's funny, the percent arc trend exhaustion did the exact same thing. Broke down, short-term trend, went up a little bit, did a bull trap. They always do the bull trap, and then it continued downwards. And then it stayed oversold for a little while until the beginning of 2023. So this is honestly a easy layup. This is seeming like an easy layup. Now, everybody could be wrong, right? Everybody could be wrong if the cycle actually changes. If, let's say, the Fed just starts injecting liquidity in the market, starts buying up a bunch of Bitcoin, just starts buying a bunch of assets, and they are printing money. But if they're not actively injecting that money into the system, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Supposedly, we're gonna get the biggest tax credits of the last decade or two, because we paid too much money in taxes like last year or something like that. I don't know the full story, but a lot of money is going to get injected into the system from there. And I think that's going to be a bull trap scenario where a bunch of people puts their money in, sends the market up, liquidity increases at 100K, they become exit liquidity and they lose that money that they just earned and then put back in the market. So also, you come over here to the previous times that this has happened and you see the exact same thing. 200-day SMA is broken, but it's not just broken, it's rejected, it's given a bull trap, and then it continues downwards and a significant drawdown happens. And then after this significant drawdown happens, it finally crosses back above the 200-day SMA, and then it starts again. And then we see another pullback, it goes back below it, but it's not as significant, and it comes right back. So yeah, that's what we're having inside of Bitcoin. That's what I'm seeing here. So let me know what you guys think. And look, when we come over here and look at the this is still the weekly chart, we're already seeing the bull trap starting. Like we can see this, and we might see something like this happen, and then we might see that continuation downwards. That's pretty much what I'm waiting on. And then you see the oversold for a small period of time like before, and then you see the increase. So yeah, anyways, this is pretty much all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to show this again because we are having the active pullback that we're seeing. If you look at the 5-minute chart, we have the descending triangle, which is going to spark another drawdown here. So I would say expect that to come in pretty soon. Let's go ahead and take off the 200-day SMA. Then we can bring back the MACD, the moving average convergence, divergence. So that's pretty much what we're seeing here. And then if we pull this up, we are seeing somewhat of bullish divergence again. The lows on the MACD are becoming higher and higher. And this is just the 5-minute chart. It's an ultra short-term chart. So maybe a temporary increase in the price followed by another bull trap. And then here it is. This is the bullish divergence. So we are seeing bullish divergence on the 5-minute chart, ultra short term. But again, what that might look like is an increase in price. Let's say if we drop down below there, hit this area on the rising wedge, have a recovery back up to 89K or something like that, maybe even 90K, get rejected again, bull trap people, use them as exit liquidity, and continue the drawdown. So really the name of the game is bull trapping, bull trapping retail. And that's pretty much what they've been doing the whole time. And people continue to fall for it and think that everything's going to recover. Because let's be honest, a lot of YouTubers are making money. They're making money because they're getting the ad revenue, telling people that it's going to go up. They're telling people it's going to take off. Like I see people saying the dollar is becoming devalued, all this other stuff. Yeah, the dollar is becoming devalued. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to, that doesn't mean that they're just going to allow the market to continue up, 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 and up. Like they're going to use you guys as exit liquidity, and then they're going to put their money in at the bottom of Bitcoin towards the end of the year because the dollar is becoming devalued. So they're going to crash the market intentionally. First, they're going to let you guys put all your money in. They're going to wait for tax season. People start throwing their money in tax season because they're getting more money back. Then we're going to get a bull trap, and then they're using you as exit liquidity. And on the whole way down, they're bull trapping you on the whole way down. And then eventually you get tired of it. It stays oversold for an extended period of time. Towards the end of the year, it bottoms out, and then boom, like now everything starts to come back. Now, what price do I believe that we will come back to? Well, you have to kind of look at what happened last time. What price did it come back to last time? And not necessarily price, but what price ratio? Well, it came back to the highs of the previous rally. So if you come back here and you take a horizontal line, you can see the previous rally, and it didn't stop necessarily at the same amount, but nearly the same amount, right? It stopped at 15K. The highs of the previous was 19K. So if we're going to use hypotheticals, we can take this percentage and look, it was a 20% difference. So we should, hypothetically speaking, go 20% below the previous high. And what would that look like? This is the previous high right here. So if we hypothetically speaking, we're going 20% below, then we are going to 55K, give or take. I would argue even lower down to here. And that's because that's the low of this area here. So I would say about 50K, right? 55K, 50K, I think somewhere around that level is going to be the price that we see. So we might see a bigger drawdown, maybe 25%, right? And then go down to 50K. So I think 50K might end up being that low, but it could get lower. It doesn't necessarily have to do the same thing as last time. But if it does, then that's what I'm seeing likely. So that's pretty much how I see this ending for the whole market for 2026. So we'll see exactly how this is, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated on the Bitcoin situation because I think Bitcoin is 1,000 times more important to watch than altcoins. And oh yeah, also I almost forgot. This whole area here is gonna be better on the daily chart. This right here is a bearish expanding triangle. So this was our first warning. This was our first warning because we had this here, which is a bull flag. This is a bull flag. That was the first bullish signal. Boom. And then we have another bullish signal, which is the falling wedge. The falling wedge, boom, bullish. So it continues upwards. And you could call that a bull flag as well. And then we had the third signal, which was the bearish one, which is actually called a bearish expanding triangle. And this was the first warning. Boom. We hit the bearish expanding triangle. We break out of it. The second we break out of it, massive selling, massive selling. The top traders, all the institutional investors, the people with the money, they literally have paid specialists. They have paid people that are technical analysis specialists, literally strategists that know this type of things. They know these type of things. So when they see these things, they act, they make those moves, and they know what's going to happen. So they have people that are literally built for this, right? And then we had an uptrend. Look, we had an uptrend line since September of 2023. And that trend line was finally broken November 2025, to be exact, around November 17th, November 18th of 2025, it was finally broken. And now we are where we are now with this rising wedge. So literally everything is stacking up. All of these bearish signals are stacking up, which is why I'm super bearish. And then when you pull up the monthly chart, this is the monthly chart. What happened last time with the monthly chart? Well, in 2021, it became overbought on the %R trend exhaustion. And then it pulled back. And then it bull trapped. And then it kept pulling back. What are we doing now? We became overbought. And then we bull trapped. And now that's pretty much what we're doing now. We're bull trapping because it's probably going to do some type of increase. And then it's going to continue down. And when is it going to stop? Probably towards the end of 2026. So we're going to see this do something like this and then a straight drawdown for 2026. And then boom, going into 2027, we're going to start seeing people coming back into the market, and we're going to start seeing that liquidity flowing and prices increasing. So that's pretty much what we have here. And look, guys, this has took me years to master. It's taken everyone years to master. But now we're starting to reach a point where everyone has mastered the Bitcoin cycles. So there is also a possibility that, you know, the wealthy people, all the people with big money know that a lot of people know the cycles, and they might try to switch it up. They might try to switch it up and just send this thing to the moon again and then have the crash. So there's always that possibility as well. So I would say be extremely careful. But as of right now, it's bearish. If it breaks 100K and continues upwards, or not 100K, 108K, because that was the high of the previous one, and then the head and shoulders pattern wouldn't really be valid. If it breaks 108K, then I don't know what to tell you. Then we just gotta sit on our hands and wait and see what happens at that point. But yeah. Anyways, this is pretty much all I got for you guys today. And again, let's pull up the monthly chart again. I know. But look, we're actually having bearish divergence. So this actually might be one of the biggest crashes that we've had, because bearish divergence is building, and that's when you have the highs here becoming lower on the MACD. And that's going to cause a bigger crash. So we're going to end up seeing a bigger crash down here. So we might go below 50K. Honestly, we might go below 50K. So I don't know if it'll actually stop at 50, but we'll see. Again, bearish divergence. As you can see here, the highs on the MACD are becoming lower. So that's super bearish. So don't say I didn't warn you, but also never be too sure, right? Never be too sure that it's going to do something. You always want to pay attention, but you know, don't leave yourself at risk for losing all your money. So at this point, I'm day trading, and I'm not even really touching crypto. I'm not messing with crypto right now. I'm messing with stocks. I'm messing with MicroStrategy, because that's a Bitcoin treasury company. I can short it, I can long it, I could do both things. I could go in, out on both positions. Oh, and I actually have a short open on MicroStrategy that I opened overnight, and the market is about to open in 1 hour. It's 9:07 p.m. here in the Philippines, which means that it's 8:07 p.m. inside of Eastern Standard Time. So in 1 hour and 1 hour and 13 minutes, we'll have the market open. Something like that. Actually, my math is terrible. 1 hour and 23 minutes, we'll have the market open. But yeah, we should probably be dropping some more. So watch out for that if you guys like to do stock market trading. I'm not going to do it live. I did live previously, but there is a possibility that later on in the day we could see an increase. So maybe it'll start the day bearish, but I don't know if it's going to do that the whole time. Especially because when we come back and look at Bitcoin, and we look at the short-term trends here on Bitcoin, it is oversold, and we want to see it continuing to sell off. So we'll have to see, but it is oversold on the %R trend exhaustion. But all I'm seeing is signals that it's going to continue to sell off, right? That's what it's looking like. So, and we also have this descending triangle. So there you might have an opportunity to short MicroStrategy. Don't go into it without doing your own technical analysis, but now you know what to look for, right? But yeah, definitely do your own technical analysis on MicroStrategy if you're going to think about doing like a short or something. All right. But yeah, this is all I got for the third or fourth time. I know I said that multiple times, but I keep finding different things I want to talk about. But this is all I got, actually. But so yeah, hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And also, become a member of the channel. It's only $9.99 per month. You can request me to go over any crypto as long as it's not a low cap scam coin. I actually have a project that I'm going over for another member. I forgot the name of the project. I gotta relook at it, but it's a Solana project, and you probably know who you are. So I'm gonna have to relook at that, and I'm gonna make that video right after this video comes out. Well, not right after, because the stock market is about to open. Actually, yeah, I have an hour to make it. So I'm gonna make that video for you. I don't know if I'm gonna get it out now or if I'm gonna get it out in a few hours, but I'm gonna get that video out for you, for the members. And yeah, for the other members, all you other members, go ahead and request these videos and request a video. Yeah, as long as it's not a low cap scam coin. And then for the people that just want to support the channel, I have Solana donations inside of my description and in my comment section. and BNB donations in my description in my comment section, and it helps a lot. I've gotten one donation so far, so big shout out to the person that donated. They donated $60 in Solana, so that was pretty nice. So yeah, if you guys want to donate, go ahead and do it. It definitely helps the channel, and it actually motivates me to continue to make the videos, because I don't have to make the videos. Really, right now I'm just doing videos to maintain the memberships and let the members get the value that they deserve. So that's really the only reason why I'm making the videos, because even though the members don't request videos every day, I know they want to see videos every day. So getting these Bitcoin videos out every day for the members, and then any other altcoins that the members request. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. So anyways, this is all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. As always, I'll be back with another video.